Okay, here we go. Can I live through this life update email? Probably yes. But I will tell you, I am sleep deprived. See, I haven't lost like a full day of sleep, but I've lost incremental amounts of sleep for the last 4 days. So it kind of builds up. But nevertheless, I have this time, so I'm going to go for it. After my last live email, I helped Liam move, which was decent, except Liam has so much stuff. Oh, holy cow. This man, he's like a baby hoarder. I mean, maybe he's normal. I don't know. But I have so little stuff in comparison to him. It was like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised, a little bit disappointed, and a little bit like, I did not sign up for this death. But I did it anyway, because that's what heroes/friends do. Epic Marvel quote. There you go. Okay. I then got home, took a bath, because I was tired, and my arms were very dead, because I had worked out earlier, and then that plus being one of the two people helping him move meant I lifted a lot of boxes and heavy furniture. I then watched some anime and made chainmail, and then I worked on my last live email, and then joined in on the classic and typical Retro Christie Minecraft call. The next day, I did not go to church. I wrote my left email because I was like, I have no other time to do this. So I did that, and I think I was tired for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I then responded to Sydney, my friend in Maryland. See, that was true. I think she's in Pennsylvania now. Not the Neo's wife, Sydney. The other Sydney. Um, she wrote me like a mini life email, which was actually really nice. I'm just saying, like, if any of you guys want to write me a little life email, I would really like enjoy it. So you should do that. I then went and played D&D, which was fun. Playing Quinrell is a pretty good experience. I think my only qualm so far is that being a fighter, I just don't have that many things I can do. It's like the roleplay is good. I think I'm doing well at that. But like, I wish I could do more stuff in combat then. I smack. I shoot arrow, etc. Then had food and went to anime club. uh, yes. So see, I decided I would at least try out anime club because you never know. Maybe they wouldn't be crazy weebs. But I will tell you that it was pretty darn crazy. And yeah, anime club was not my jam. Just see, like it was interesting. We did an anime quiz, and I actually got second out of everybody, which was great. Like I was surprised I did so well, but everyone was just super socially awkward, and you're like, I can tell you don't have a life. And so I'm like, do I really want to associate myself with these people? And then the answer I came to was no. So I did not go back, but I did try it out. I feel like I should at least get points for trying, and it was decently enjoyable. But I am still in the Discord because they give me good anime recommendations. Okay. I then went home, listened to Pints with Aquinas, and got some anime clips from various shows I had seen. I've decided I want to try and like make epic AMVs because like me and Joe have made some decent AMVs, but what would happen is I'd spend like 3 hours before just finding clips from the shows I like. But what I realized is if I just spend like 10 minutes after I see an epic anime scene and just record it, then I can make sure every scene I put in the AMV is just epic. So from now on, or from then on, I guess, I've been and pulling aside various scenes that are just really cool. All right, water break. It's not actually, well, it is kind of water. Okay. Um, After that, I went to school. I worked on applying for scholarships because that's a thing. I don't know if I've gotten any of them yet. I probably won't, which is kind of weird. Oh, you know what? Okay, I think I know why it is. I took one CSU class back during COVID and I got a B minus, which means my GPA, according to CSU, is 2.667, which is dumb because my front range GPA is like 3.64. It's like great, but they don't see that. So that's probably why I didn't get scholarships because they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you applying for this merit scholarship? You're garbage." Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's dumb. I wonder if I can get that fixed. Okay, well, mystery solved. But maybe I'll get a scholarship. Who knows? Anyway, I then went to work and sorted bibs, aka I took little things that people put on running shirts, and I was like, "That's an A, that's a B," and so forth. I then did math at the math class. I went to ratio, and then I went home and ran with mom, which I'm still really enjoying that practice. Although at this point, I've been running with dad some because mom's like, It's too cold, which is not really fair, but kind of fair. And then once I got back, I emailed Majesty of Reason and caught up with him, which is good because I need to keep on top of that if I want to, keep growing intellectually. Um, Thereafter, I had the next day of school, as per usual. I worked on coding stuff because, I have to do that for Mech 105. I also folded more t-shirts, which was crazy. I then took the test of death, which went very, very poorly. I got a 53, which is like, oh, okay. So, yeah. ECEs, now I'm gonna have to fix that. So that's great. But after that discouraging test of death, I went to Tuesday night where we played Minecraft and watched a Bollywood movie, which was the best thing ever. I have to talk about this for at least 5 minutes. Okay, so Bollywood is like the Hollywood of India, which apparently everyone knew except for me. But they made this movie that's like 3 hours long. It's ages, but it's like two dudes, right, who have like juxtaposed goals and all that jazz, but end up being like a team, and they're just both beasts. And there's like 7,000 super dramatized, like epic scenes that are just comedic because you're like, this is not realistic at all, and it's just fantastic. Like that movie, beautiful, essence of beauty. The only movie I think is really good right now that is not an anime. It was just the best. The whole scene where like the one dude's legs are broken, it was just like carrying him on his shoulders. He loads the guns. Ah, so good. Anyway, you need to watch that. It's called RRR, I think it is, and I cannot highly recommend that show enough. It is fantastic. So yeah, watch that with everyone. Fantastic time. Do not regret spending that time at all. And then I went to bed. The next day, I had school and did work. And then I went shopping because I need to buy my own food. And after that, I received some of David's clothes, which came out really handy actually, because they're handing me downs, and that was actually super useful. Um, and plus I understand how like valuable clothes are now because I have to buy them myself. Yeah. And then went to Magic Club and then played Beat Saber for like an hour. And then I uploaded some Beat Sabers to my YouTube channel, which I've actually had a YouTube channel for ages, but I don't ever put anything on it. So yeah, if you ever want to see my Beat Saber runs, just let me know. I got you. Let's see. After that, I slept, and so the next day began, and I will take yet another water break. Oh. See, the water break is also for the voice typing because it takes ages to load again. I don't want it to like perish and I have to retcon typing in all the things I missed typing. It's still spinning. Ugh. So this is why I do this because the amount of time it takes for it to load is like it's telling you I'm thinking, and I'm like, well, think now while you're not typing before you load yourself. Okay, you're not doing anything. Reinitiate. Oh. Okay, we're good. All right. The next day I rock climbed a bit in the lovely morning. I took the other test of death, which I don't know what test that was. That was probably my ACE test. The first test of death must have been my mech test, which was in that case not a test of death because I got a 96. So, yep. Anti-death test and death test. I then did work and spent 2.5 hours on writing the whole project write-up for project number 2 for Mech 105, which took ages and was gross because you're like, you already know this code works. I can press a button and it functions. Do I have to tell you every single reasons why? But it's fine. I then got home and ended up watching Hacksaw Ridge while chainmailing with Mom and Ben. That movie's pretty intense. But oddly enough, like, even though I understand it's realistic gore, it doesn't bug me as much as anime gore. So explain that to me. I then cleaned my Rocketbook because it has to be cleaned to be reused, and then I listened to some Majesty of Reason YouTube videos while playing Minecraft. The next day, I had school, did work, did math, and after that, Liam helped me with my Ratchet Christie presentation. So this like marked the start of what I'm going to deem Hell Week because it was horrible. Oh my gosh, so much work. I mean, okay, I guess Hell Week doesn't officially start until the Monday, but this is like kind of sort of like, oh, things are happening. So I worked on my presentation with Liam, and that wasn't bad per se. It was more just me being like, what do you want from me? Why am I here? And he was like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, I understand. So I, yeah, I worked on the presentation. He helped me out some with graphic-y things. I then got home, got the FAFSA done, which is great because I am now guaranteed a Pell Grant for next year, which is fantastic. That's how I'm getting paid to go to school right now, so that was a really big deal, and that makes me very happy. I then went on a run, and we finished the Bollywood film I mentioned before because we were like, this is just the best. And so, yeah, we did that. That was great. The next day, I did the morning book study where we talked about Owen's chapter. It's with not Majesty of Reason. It's with Matt. Why did I have a hard time with that? It's with Matt and Alan and this one other dude who I don't know. But the problem is that like I'd read the chapter 2.5 months ago, so I couldn't contribute very much because I was like, I don't really remember what happened. So yeah, but it was still good we did that because we are really falling behind on those. Yep, and we talked with this Catholic dude who was really bad at being Catholic, honestly. He was like, the way I see it, the church isn't infallible. And I'm like, but doesn't the church claim to be infallible? And he's like, I don't really know, man. And I'm like, okay. Okay, it wasn't exactly like that, but it was painful. Yeah, he was very bad at being Catholic. He was reasonable, but just really bad at being Catholic, which might mean that being Catholic is unreasonable, but don't tell John I said that. Okay. Yep. I then went to Neo's presentation, uh, which was something. I don't even recall what that was for. Think about it. Neo's presentation? Nope, I have no idea what that was for. I wrote it down. Don't ask me what that means. Did some more Minecraft while listening to Pipes of Aquinas. I then went to a lovely birthday party for someone. See, I'm glad I have notes, but like, I should really remember what happened in my life. This is a long time ago. Who did I go to a birthday party for? Oh, Grace! Yeah. Uh, I'm not embarrassed about that at all. Don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, went to the birthday party for Grace, and we all watched Children of the Sea, which was spectacular. Again, the most stunning anime you've ever seen. Did presents and stuff. She liked mine. I got her like 7,000 hairpins. And then I did some more pints of Aquinas and made chainmail. And then went on a brief walk before coming home and responding to Majesty of Reason and continuing my conversation with him before calling it night. Water break. Okay. You could do this voice typey thing. We believe in you. I gotta say, RRR, fantastic show. Like, oh my gosh, you guys have to watch that. Or Children of the Sea. I mean, Children of the Sea has a garbage plot, but it's like super visually stunning, so watch one of those. Also, I don't think I mentioned this in my. Oh, maybe I did. No, I probably do. Okay, I'll talk about it a bit. Come here, voice typer. Don't fail me. Okay, we're good. After that, I went to church because it was Sunday. Played a long Magic game. I then finished my really lengthy chain, which I will put a picture of here, which I'm pretty impressed with. And then I went to D&D. I did dishes during Bible study, which was a lot of work, by the way. That dishes took me like 2 hours, something like that. It was a lot of dishes. And then I watched Blue Period with Morgan. Oh, I need to tell her to do that again. Okay. Which is just an anime about art, which is pretty realistic as far as I can tell. It's basically like this dude being like, I am good at art. And he's like, art crisis! No! And I'm like, yeah, that's probably how it goes. Although, not like I'm actually really into art, so I can't tell you for sure. But anyway, that was fine. And then we did Beat Saber, and I slept. I've been trying to like beat all the Beat Saber levels on Expert plus super fast mode because that feels like an achievement. And then put them on YouTube. So that's why I've been playing Beat Saber. Um, then began Hell Week for reals. So basically, the problem with Hell Week and why it happened is that every day of this week I had no time to do homework during work, which means I had 10 hours left to do homework a week. Because normally I can do homework while I'm just chilling doing nothing. But the homecoming race was coming, so I was like, I actually have to work at work, which I understand I shouldn't be disappointed about because that's usually what everyone has to do. But it was still kind of like, oh no. So yeah, that was one factor that was really unfortunate. I did do quiet time that first morning, that Monday morning. But then after going to school and doing homework, well, not doing homework, I guess, doing work at work, I was like, oh, I don't really have a lot of time. So the other thing was that normally I have like a gap between Ratio Christie and the end of my classes, but that gap ended up being filled with working on the presentation because I actually gave a Ratio Christie atheism presentation. And so I talked to Mike a little bit before the atheism presentation. He was like, "Make sure you say these things." I was like, "That seems reasonable. Okay." And then I gave my talk on atheism, which I think went pretty well. You could ask anyone in attendance if you really want to contest such things. I then went home and ran with mom, as per my custom, and then watched a little bit of anime with her before working on job stuff. Because at this point I was like, okay, this is full, but I can still make this with my normal schedule. The next day I was like, oh no, because I had to wake up early to go get like resume help, but it was not resume help. It was dumb because I was supposed to meet with like a person who actually works in industry, but instead I got a student who knew nothing. And I have to rant on this. It bugs me immensely when you go to someone and you're like, I have this question, this particular question, and they're like, I don't know the answer, but they don't say that. They pretend to know the answer or redirect you, and you're like, that's not what I asked. Like, you could just say, I don't know, please? Because then you end up getting your, like, ear talked off about how to format your resume for, like, 20 minutes, and you're like, I didn't ask that. I already know how to format a resume. Thank you. And so it's painful. I had this happen recently, too, where I was, like, going to career advising. I'm like, I would like to know how many internships and co-ops are expected. And she's like, talk about that co-op for me. And I'm like, you don't know what a co-op is, do you? And so that was great. And then I was like, do you know how many is expected? Because if not, that's all good. And she was like, no, yeah. And then she proceeded to be like, it varies from job to job. And there's no standard for your, what was your department again? And I'm like, mechanical engineering. And she's like, mechanical engineering? It was painful. Basically the whole time, like, she clearly did not know a single thing about what I was talking about, but kept trying to talk to me. And I'm like, look, if you don't know what you're talking about, just please tell me you don't know and leave it alone. Okay, one other case. I got tutoring yesterday at for ECE because that's the class I'm not doing great at. And the tutor's like, I'm gonna just review the textbook, see how this works. And she's like going through it, she's like, I don't know where they got that two from, and like, I don't really understand that. And I'm like, I'm the one asking for help, but I understand where they got the two from. So clearly you know nothing. So yeah. I've had a few encounters where I'm vexed because people put in positions of like authority teaching places won't just admit they don't know. And it's very obvious to me when they don't, and it bugs me. Just say I don't know and stop wasting my time. But I was cordial, like a good, virtuous human being. Anyway, I need to take a drink after that. Yeah, that's been actually so painful. Like, please just admit you don't know something. Please? Okay, moving on. Anyway, aside from that, I then went to the lame resume help. Then I got math tutoring because I was like, my math grade is a 64, and I don't like that. And so I then did school. I also had no quiet time this morning or exercise. I was just like crunch mode. I did school, did work, folded shirts for more homecoming stuff, did homework, and I relaxed a little bit, but that was after like 3 hours of homework. So I got to do like an hour and a half of relaxing, I think, before I went to sleep. Oh, yep. And then I did a tiny bit of Minecraft with Pirates of Quietness. So it was a very full day. The next day, I also skipped my quiet time, went to tutoring for earliness for math. I then skipped my first class because I was like, I really need to make sure I do not fail this Calculus 3 exam. I then went to ECE. That's false. I went to statics. Did more tutoring and skipped math that evening for this event called Evening with Industry, which was basically a time where you got to eat fancy tacos and talk to people who wanted to hire you. And I will tell you, those tacos were spectacular. Oh my gosh. Like, I didn't expect it, but I think I ate like 6 tacos. Like, they're not like the little shell tacos. Like, we're talking like burrito size, but like not a smaller tortilla, but just not filled maximally. Like, I stuffed myself with those things. They were so good. I don't think I got like all that much from the actual event, but I got fantastic tacos, so it was super worth it. Oh, and as I was talking to one of the interviewers, she was like, "How do you feel about safety?" And I'm like, "You could take it or leave it." And that went so poorly. Don't respond like that. Very bad idea. If anyone asks you how you feel about safety, be like, massively important, absolutely necessary. Because man, like, whew. Her response after that was like, okay, well, we value safety here. And I was like, oh, shots fired. So yeah, yep. Don't say you don't care about safety, even if it's true. Yep, did that. Got to learn on the job. I made two cool internship connections, which might turn out to be something we'll find out. And then I also met Lauren, which was cool. She's a aerospace engineer. That's Morgan's friend that I've known before, and she was like one of the people that was hiring. And I was like, hey. She was like, hey, and it was cool. Once I got home, I worked on resume stuff, and I applied to jobs for like an hour, and then I did a bit of Minecraft with pints to round out the night. The next day therein, I slept in a bit because I was sleep deprived, and then I went to the career. I mean, by like an hour, it wasn't a lot. And then I went to the career fair, which was good. I talked to like 12 different employers, and I gave out all my resumes. But it was also like high stress, and I barely made it to my class on time. And then that's when I did really bad in the exam. Okay, what was the other exam of death? Whatever it wasn't that bad because I did well on it. ECE is the only exam I've done horrible on. Oh, it was statics. I got an 81 on that, I think. So, not like good. Not garbage. Yep. Anyway, I then got to ECE, went to go help distribute race packets at Dick's Sporting Goods for work, and then went to the second math midterm, which I aced, by the way. I got a 96. So, hard work will do it for you. And that makes me very happy because I was like, oh no. Because after that 64, math grade wasn't looking so hot. Now I'm like an average 80. But you know what? It's good to know that if I try hard, I can get good grades. And yeah, then after that, I went to the dance club because I was like, oh, I can finally relax a little bit. And I danced. It was good. I actually have really enjoyed the hip hop dance club thus far. So just saying, you should try it if you ever get the chance. Hip hop dance. And then once I got home, I just did job applications until bed. And another water break. I was actually supposed to go to hip hop dance club today, but I was tired. Because, again, aforementioned sleep deprivation. Okay. Here we go. The next day, I had my first quiet time for the week. Woo! Did classes, got my math score back, did homework, which was kind of like all behind, so I actually took a few zeros on homework because that whole hell week time I was super busy. And then after that, Braden and I did some Magic in the Sun, which was very relaxing. Magic the Gathering, while played outside, is really nice. I highly recommend it. We got some Five Guys after that, and then we saw these really cool fireworks. There was like a mushroom cloud. This firework at CSU for homecoming, like there's a giant bonfire and stuff, but there was a literal mushroom cloud. They just have a giant ball of fire. It was by far the coolest firework I've ever seen. It was huge, by the way, like massive. So yeah, hung out with Braden, caught up with him. That was really good. I then went home and watched a anime movie and did some chainmail stuff. And I finished the big chain, which I showed you the picture of earlier. And then Sydney got my letter, which, if you remember way, way, way back, like 3 years ago back, I made a lot of different scrolls, like with people's names on them, like telling them how much they meant to me and stuff. And Sydney was the one person I hadn't sent the scroll to yet, because she was like, I won't give you my address. And I was like, why? And she's like, I won't tell you. So, yeah, her problem, not mine. Well, I mean, it was my problem because I was annoyed. But whatever. She finally was willing to give me an address. So I finally sent it to her, and she finally got it. And I think she really liked it. Apparently, like, made an impact on her, which was really cool. Oh, and the other thing is that I recommended to her Violet Evergarden, the best anime. Um, and she has absolutely loved it. It's her new favorite now too. So that's super cool because now we both have like the same favorite anime, and that's just the best. So getting a letter is like super significant because Violet Evergarden. So yeah, that was a great experience to be like, yay, that work I did a long time ago paid off. Other than that, I woke up then at 5:30 a.m. on Saturday to help organize the race, the Homecoming 5K, which was painful but tolerable. I think I did fine. I then made magic decks with Benj, which was good. We now have two new fancy decks. I have a graveyard deck and he has a cat dragon deck. I then bought a new VR game that was supposed to be like roguelike and epic, but it was kind of meh. but I did beat it, so whatever. And then I ate some food while watching some anime, and then I joined in the Minecraft call, during which me and Liam did a 2 hour long anime quiz. Which, man, I think my score was like exactly half of his. He is just so much better at these than me. I don't understand why. Like, he knows so many anime. Ugh. Anyway, that was decently fun. The next day I went to church at Southgate, played Magic at Lunch Bunch, which was fun, and then I went to D&D and finished my uh, bit of chainmailing that I was working on. I then got to meet Alan's friends, which were interesting. See, like, he talked up this girl named Lydia a lot, but I don't know. I didn't enjoy her that much. Like, I'm sure she's a decent person, but she just seemed like super. I don't know. Annoying isn't the right word. Like, I don't know, fixated? Like, she just referenced everything back to the Bible. Like, I don't know if there was a single point made that she didn't, like, tie back to some Bible verse, which is, potentially seen as extremely virtuous, or it could just be like, do you have a personality? So, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy her a lot. Yeah. But anyway, nice to meet him. And Zach was just a dude. I didn't really notice anything unique about him. But apparently they're great people. So maybe if I got to know them better. After that, we played a Jackbox game, which was actually not bad. It was an okay Jackbox game. And then some Halo, which was fantastic. And then I got some free food from Neo City, which was great. And then I did my own insurance hunting, which was good because my parents were like, "Hey, those two giant tickets you got up? They finally caught up with you." And I was like, "Oh, my insurance doubled." So yeah, glad that they finally processed through. Although to be fair, like that was way longer than I thought it'd be. I'm definitely surprised how long it took them to process that. So yep, I now have my own insurance, and honestly, I found a way better deal than mom and dad were getting, so it works out. I ended up actually paying about the same amount because mom and dad just had a really bad insurance company. Um, yep, did that. And then I beat that roguelike VR game, Sweet Surrender, the one that was like meh when I got home. Water break. Okay. The next day, more school. I had a quiet day at work, which was fantastic after the entire week of being like, ah! And so that was great. And then I got to like actually do homework, which was fantastic. I then went to Ratchet Christie, which was normal. I got to do statics in the background. And then once I got home from that, I went on a run with mom, and then I watched some anime and worked on some job application stuff because I was like, I should get an internship. Do you know that like engineering internships like pay you a minimum of $20 an hour? Like that's fantastic. Like they're not even being like, you get minimum wage. They're like, you get a good wage for interning when you have no skill sets. And I was like, yay. So I'm excited. Hopefully I can get one of those. I then rock climbed and swam the next day, as is my exercise routine on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I then did quiet time, did more job vacation things, and then I went to school and work. Oh, and then I went to the buggy building club. I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't think I mentioned that. So while I was at the evening with industry, one of the dudes was like, "Hey, I'm part of this club that builds this Baja car thing," and I was like, "Ooh!" So I went to visit them, and they were like, "Go away, you need to sign a waiver." So I did. I left because I need to sign a waiver apparently. But yeah, I'm actually probably gonna. I don't think I mentioned that past this point. I'm probably gonna join that club. It's kind of hodgepodgey, where they're like, "We're just doing our own thing," and I'm like, "Is there a plan?" And they're kind of like, "Not exactly." But yeah, I think I'll probably join anyway. I then played some Magic at Joe's house and did a tiny bit of chainmail, and then I bought very fancy $100 running shoes because I was like, I am not very kind to my knees, and my form is garbage. And after Noah was all talking about how his knees had deteriorated and how he was dying, I was like, I should protect these. So I invested in my knees. The next day I had school, quiet time, all that jazz. I tried to finish the code for my project, which did not go well, which is unfortunate. But I then got to watch some Clone Wars with Neo, because it was Wednesday, and we've decided that on Wednesday I'll hang with Neo for a bit before going to Magic Club. And that was really good. Clone Wars is actually, like, getting decent at this point in time. It started off garbage, but it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I actually enjoy this. So that's kind of fun. And then I got to play some Magic before going to sleep. And Magic Club's always good. The next day, it was Thursday, so I rock climbed and swam as per usual. And then I finished the Secunda of the second part, aka the Summa Theologiae. AKA, I got through a big section of the Summa Theologiae, which is really cool. I'm on day like 130, 40, something like that. So I've been doing this for a while. I then had to use my project extension to get the tiny bit of code fixed, which is super dumb because I was actually like a line off, but whatever. And then after that, I went to ECE, aka electrical engineering, did homework. I then went home and worked on nunchucks, which I'll show you once they're done. But yeah, they're coming along. It's kind of an interesting proposal. I think I'm gonna like it. I then danced because it was Thursday, and that was fine and good. And then I studied for my big scary test, and then cleaned up my notebook, did like housekeeping things, like laundry and stuff, and it was good. It was kind of like a chill day. Water break. So much words. I have to get this done at this point though, because if I like keep waiting, this just gets longer. Oh my gosh, I see so many typos. I'm gonna die. All right, it's fine. Reinitiating voice typing. Okay, let's see. The next day, I had school and did work, all the jazz. I got a 96 on my Mech Min term, which was great and kind of reassuring after my 53 on my ECE. Um, I had just like a classic day. I then got to like shop and get gas and clean up my car and buy food and nunchucks. Yep, worked on nunchucks. And it was good. I really just enjoyed that chill day because, like, man, my life's getting hectic. I do a lot of things. I then went on a run and watched some more Free and then worked on my nunchucks while listening to Pints of Aquinas. And that was good. The next day, it was a lovely Saturday. I did quiet time in the morning, and then I rock climbed with Benj, which was good. He is so good at that. Like, gosh. He just got an 8, I think it was. Like, oh my, I can't even touch his level. I got like 2 threes, and I was like, yeah! 1 3 took a lot of time and a lot of work, but it was great. But yeah, Benj is just a rock climbing god at this point in time. Perhaps I shall one day reach half his level. But yeah, it was good to go and hang out with him because we hadn't hung out in a bit, and so I appreciate that. Um, let's see. I then played Magic at the Myers house, which was decent. I don't know. The Myers, I'm not sure if they enjoy Magic as much as I thought they did. Maybe they do. I don't know. I then hung out with the Ratchet Christie people at Noah's house, and we did like, what's it called? Cornhole and Spike Ball. I did great at Spike Ball, but I got destroyed at Cornhole. Man, Noah is so good at Cornhole. It was painful. And then I went home and hung out with Gracie, watched some Log Horizon with her, another anime, and then I did a little bit of VR before going to bed. The next day was church, which was good, and got to play Magic afterward, which was also good. I then did D&D, which was great. Playing Quinrell, I stopped becoming younger, which is great. I lost my youngerness curse. At some point, it'd be fun to just include like a D&D role-playing quote, or like some section. That'd be fun. And then I did a bunch of dishes, and we did Bible study, and then we played Halo with teams. But one thing that happened is that John and Alan were swearing quite a lot, which me and Neil were like, I'm not sure how we feel about that. So yeah, that was a bit oof. But the Halo teams battle was fantastic. Once I got home, I caught up with Ben and got to like catch up on his life. And then, as I was going to bed, the power went out. And so I was like, well, now my fan's gone, so I can't have white noise. And so Ben was like, I can't see and do work. So we were just like, well, we've never seen a power outage here in Colorado. And by here in Colorado, I mean in Fort Collins before. So we're like, let's just go walk around. And it was weird. Like our entire 4 blocks was all just dark. And so we're walking around and we're just like, we just want to see how far this goes. And as we were going, we spot this pile of fire trucks and stuff. So we ended up walking down where the fire trucks were and actually found out what caused the power outage, which was really cool. And there was this girl whose brakes apparently had failed because we stuck around and like watched her as she explained her whole story to the police because we got there in time to hear the whole thing, and like ended up hitting the power box at City Park, which took out like the entire power to all the places, which was crazy. I was pretty surprised at how far that power box like reached. But yeah, we just like got to see the police talking to her and like doing a sobriety test and stuff and all that. It was very interesting. Definitely a novel experience. I feel like if something small like that happened every day, life would just be more meaningful. Because, a lot of my days are just like, I went to school, I did the thing, etc. But that was like novel. Although that is also contributing to why I lost some of my sleep, so I'm not sure I want that particular event. Alright, water break. Whew, final stretch. So, yeah, got to see the power outage, and the power came right back on, like, as we were approaching the house, which was fantastic and great timing. And yeah, it was really, like, an interesting way to change things up. Plus, I got to hang out with Ben some, which was good. The next day was a hectic day, but I did get to have quiet time, so that was good. Um, After going through school and doing work and all that jazz, I went to this hackathon. Like, I don't know if you want to call it a meeting, but it was like a team building event where we basically all got together and we're like, yep, we need to build a team. And they gave us free Panda Express, which was fantastic. So I went into bubbly Alex mode and I was like, you need a team? Join my team. We're super chill. All we want to do is have fun and gain learning experiences. And everyone was like, we have nowhere else to go, so fine, we'll stick with this weirdo. So I built a 6-person team and hopefully we'll do well. I think that it'll be a good like learning experience for how to like lead well, if nothing else. Although I think I actually am a pretty decent leader because all these people are like hyper introverted and obviously we're not wanted by anyone else. So we'll see how this goes. I really doubt we're gonna win, but the event is really interesting. Like next week, I'm gonna spend basically all of Monday, Saturday, and Sunday just programming code for VR. Like they feed me, they don't house me, but it like goes until like 10, and you go home and sleep and wake up the next morning and just do it all again. Like it's all day. So it's just gonna be a really interesting experience. Plus, there is like a ton of money in cash prizes if you win, which I really doubt we will. But could walk home rich. Who knows? So yeah, I went to that, got free panda, which is great, and built a team, which was cool. Hopefully that will go well this upcoming week. If nothing else, it'll be a cool learning experience, I think. I then went to Rancho Christie after that and ate some of their food, so I got double the food. And then what did I do? Oh, there goes Dad. Um, I. Oh yeah, me and Neo decided to talk to John and Alan about the whole swearing thing, and ended up having like a really deep talk with John, Alan, Sydney, and Neo. That was like pretty darn heart to heart, at least for our group. I mean, it may be kind of weak by squad standards, but for the Neo friend group, it was probably the deepest conversation we've all had thus far. So yeah, that was I think really good and important to have. And then I went home and ran with Dad. It was the first time I ran with him instead of Mom, and it was decent. Mom was a little bit more monologuing, I must say, but Dad was satisfactory. And then me and Mom finished the anime we were watching, and I went to sleep because me and Mom have a habit of watching one anime episode after we do the run. Tuesday, I rock climbed and swam, and then I checked out the sauna for the first time. That's an interesting experience. Hot, humid water. I might do that more. Apparently, there's health benefits. I then went to ECE and started having like this weird heart pounding thing, which has persisted. I don't know if it's just like, oh look, I noticed I have a heartbeat, or if it's like something else and I might be dying. But yeah, I've noticed my heart has been beating abnormally hard over the last like week, and so I don't know why that is. I then did work, went to math, and then I stopped in at this event where they were giving out free canes, but it turns out like everyone else in the entire engineering department had the exact same thought, and so it was kind of like savage how everyone fought over the canes. Like it was almost a mob. And some dudes were like, I'm just gonna take 6 pieces. I know there's only, 2 pieces left. No, that doesn't make any sense. I know there's only 20 pieces left and there's, 40 people behind me, but I'm just gonna take 6. And I was like, okay, my dude, you do you, I guess. And I guess it raised a whole ethical consideration, but I'll talk about that eventually. If you care to hear about it, we can talk about it. I doubt you do. But yeah, that was an interesting experience. after getting the little tiny bit of canes I did, I went over to the Baja Vehicle Club and spent my first day with them, which was hectic and kind of like, do we have a plan? And the answer was like, kinda, but whatever. So I'm probably gonna enjoy that. I then went over to the James's house where Joe was not present because he and Karina were at a wedding in California, but his mom was present, and so me, Noah, Benj, and Mrs. James all played Splendor twice. I lost one game, but then won the other one, so evened it out. And that was fun. And then we all played Magic, which is good. And then once I got home, I talked with Liam about some stuff. That was good. And I also caught up with Majesty of Reason and responded to him. And then finally, yesterday, school, work, math, all that stuff. I then went to hang out with Neo, but it turned out John and Sydney were like chilling with us, and they were like, let's go shopping. And it took so long. Holy cow, I think we shopped for like a solid hour and 15 minutes. It could have taken like 15 minutes if we'd just been efficient, but no. Efficiency is not the key to success, apparently. So, yeah, that was painful, but whatever. I then watched some Clone Wars with Neo, and we played a little bit of Halo. And then we played Firefight, I think it's called. The teamwork one, not the fighting each other one. And then I went and played Magic with a giant group of people, and that was kind of just long and tedious. But I made chainmail during it, so it was worth it. And then went to sleep. And then, yeah. As for today, I was like, I need to go to tutoring. And then I had the whole tutoring experience I ranted about earlier where she was like, I don't understand this. And I'm like, I understand this. And you're the tutor. So that was painful. I figured out I need to buy a fancy calculator, so I did that. I got to just do homework at work, which was great. And hung out with Dad today. And I think that's it. Oh, I finished another anime, and then I stole the music from it, and it's beautiful music. Oh my gosh. Like, fantastic. Not quite Violet Evergarden level, but pretty close. So, yeah, my music playlist got 50 songs longer. So now I have, like, I don't know, some ton of music sorted. But yeah, that was good. I sorted some music. And then I wrote this. And that's how the day went. I'm like, I understand these are getting a little bit sloggy. Like, it's just like, wow, Alex, you just, don't have anything interesting. What about your intros? What about, like, interesting developments? But I'm super busy, okay? Like, forcing myself to do this instead of sleep or do something else that requires zero brain power is, I mean, not, like, horribly hard, but not stupidly easy either. So I'm just trying to keep the life update email tradition alive. And I mean, I have a few mini rants. But yeah, I'm sorry if these get a little bit sloggy. I might try and fix it. I probably won't because I'm like super busy, as aforementioned. But you know what? If there's things that I care about, I'll talk about them more. And plus, like the hackathon next week will probably be interesting because like that will be a very unique event. Like who else, who gets to spend 3 days just doing nothing but code? Oh, it could be super stressful. We're probably gonna die. I have to like soothe everyone's. It's gonna be a job. Anyway, I'm sure that there'll be interesting things that happen. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. And thank you for listening because, the few of you that make it this far are special. Not because of any unique characteristic, just because you're unique insofar as you made it to this end. Like, you may be a horribly boring person with no personality, which is not true because everyone who listens to these is both smart and handsome or beautiful. But it's the case that, not many people make it to the end. Just saying. So, good on you.